All right, Algebra 2 Honors, welcome to your last section of notes for the year. Today we're going to talk about circles, and we are also going to talk about ellipses, which is the official word for an oval. So first we're going to go over some review for circles, things that you would have talked about in geometry. A circle is made up of a set of points in a plane that are a fixed distance called the radius from a fixed point called the center. Because all of the points on the circle are the same distance, because remember we can draw the radius anywhere from the center to the edge, what you can do is use the distance formula to find the equation of a circle. So this formula does come from the distance formula. So the equation of a circle, as you may remember, it's also right here, we're going to write it out together, is x minus h. And notice that it does have the minus in there, so it is the opposite of what you see. That value squared plus your y value minus k squared equals r squared. And this is where the h and k is going to be the center. Okay, so the center of your circle is hk. And then again, it does equal r squared. So not the radius, but the radius squared. Here's an example. If you know what the center is and the radius, you can plug those values in. So if it's a positive, you'll see x minus 5. If it's a negative, you're doing minus a negative, which ends up being plus when you simplify. And then 8 squared would be 64. Now, if the center is 0, 0, x minus 0 is just going to be x. So this would be x squared. Same thing would happen here. Y minus 0 is y, so this would be y squared. And then it would still equal r squared. So we're going to write the equation of the circle. In this one, they give you that the center is 0, 6, and your radius is 1. So we're just going to plug this into our equation. So x minus, this is your h, this is your k, this is your r. So x minus 0 squared plus y minus 6 squared equals 1 squared. So this is going to simplify to x squared plus y minus 6 squared equals 1. 1 squared is going to be 1, and that's how you would write your final answer. Okay, in the next one, they give you a circle with the center of negative 4, 11, and it contains the point 5, negative 1. Okay, so for this one, you are going to use the distance formula to find your radius, because you know that the radius is the length from the center to any point that's on the circle. Okay, so that's what we're going to find. So if we're doing the distance formula, usually it's d equals, but we're going to use r. So the radius equals the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus the difference in the y coordinates squared. So the radius is going to equal, you can think of this is your x1, y1, this is your x2, y2, and then what we're doing is finding the radius. So here's the center, here's the point. I was just going to draw a little sketch for you. Basically what's happening is you're on your coordinate plane. If you're at negative 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up 11, here, that's your center. 5, negative 1 here. What you're doing is you are finding this radius that is a part of this circle, which is too big for my paper, but that's part of your circle there. Okay, this would be the rest of it. Okay, so I have 5 minus -4, which is really going to end up being +4, minus the negative. The y2 is -1 minus 11 squared. So this is going to be the square root of 9 squared plus -12 squared. So we know that that's 81 plus 144. Add the 1 to get 145. And then when you add the 80, you will get 225. The square root of 225 actually is a perfect square. It doesn't have to be a perfect square every time. So in this one, our radius is 15. So now we're going to substitute the values into the equation of the circle. So our r is 15, and then our center is -411. That's our h and our k. We are just going to substitute those in. So if I have a negative, remember it's minus a negative, which is going to simplify to a positive, plus y minus 11 squared equals 15 squared. So x plus 4 squared plus y minus 11 squared equals 225 is our final answer. All right, now when we talked about circles in geometry, we also talked about tangent lines. So we are going to review those as well. So a tangent is a line in the same place as the circle that intersects the circle at exactly 1 point. So at exactly 1 point. You might remember that the tangent to a circle is perpendicular to the radius at the point of tangency, and therefore the tangent and the radius are perpendicular lines. We're going to draw just a visual representation of this, just a small one. I'm just going to draw a little circle here, and so we have the point of tangency. Okay. So here's the radius and then the point of tangency. These two are going to be perpendicular to each other. Okay, so this is your radius, and this is your tangent line. All right, and then we're going to go on to page 2.